Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Let's get that music back up and pumping. Blessed to be alive here on this beautiful day. Bitcoin holding 105,000. Are we going to get a pump? Or are we going to get devastated here? Are the bears going to win? Are the bulls going to win? There's a battle right now. And so many people have so many opinions. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I'm attempting to navigate these waters just like you with my years and years of data. Let's see what can happen here for Bitcoin. Let's get it going. Did you work out today? Did you motivate today? Did you get yourself going? Let's go, baby. Woo! Sorry, I get excited. I worked out. You can see I'm still sweating from my workout. Jumped in the shower, hopped in the suit, ready to rock. Let's put the lemon in the water. Let's get it going. Shout out to my mom and dad. I love you both. I'm going to keep pushing and never stop. For both of you, I love you. Let's go. That's good. I need another sip. Let's break it down. Let's shout out to all the beautiful Bitcoiners out there, the coiners. Shout out to my no-coiners who are just getting started in the Bitcoin world. God bless each and every one of you. Palantir getting a bounce back to the upside. It never got stopped out. Member of this original triangle that we're in, that you could be in here. The stop loss down here. So there's still a chance Palantir back inside the pattern could actually start to go back to the upside. An entry there above this resistance could help you, and it could actually pump back to 249. Just something to think about. The bot, which is getting closer and closer to its way out there at 111,750, is still sitting underwater, but it has a buy that's back up. I do have an automated bot that trades the market for me. It's been doing absolutely wonderful. Ooh, whoa. What's up there with my... There we go. Wait. There we go. Sorry about that. Didn't seem to be where it should have been there. I was running quick this morning. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, you know me, I traded this 21 touching as the stochastics reset. I waited all night for the flag. I waited patiently 12 hours. I entered the trade. I don't know, did I got stopped out? Let me see. No, I didn't get stopped out of the trade yet. Let me just take a look at the trade. I low risked it because it was a Monday, and I put my stop loss below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. So I'm not out the trade yet. I'm down 164, but I'm not out yet. Remember, and we won that trade yesterday. It did break even from the short I had cooking. So I had a short I wanted to bit. Let me break down my whole trading idea, because my mind is insane, and I know it is. So I looked at Bitcoin. I just want to take you through what I'm doing so everyone that knows me can understand what's happening. BTC, USDT, KuCoin. Because I don't ever want it to be like, oh, flip-flop and confuse, you know. So I'm looking at Bitcoin, and to me, it looked like it was making a bear flag. Agreed? And as long as it stayed inside the bear flag, I had a short going, right? And I wanted to see this thing cook to the downside. I was also looking at the 4 hour. If you remember, we had it flipped upside down. And I was looking for this to make a beautiful ascending triangle and pump to the upside. It looked beautiful. But we made shoulder, head, right shoulder. At that point, I'm not going to sit there and watch myself get nailed. Right? I saw that was a head and shoulder pattern, which yesterday we gave you the inverted, right? It pumped to the upside. I took profits. Why? Because the 1 hour had pumped. So I kept the short. All right. So yeah, back to the idea. So I opened up a short on the daily, but it was small. It was like $1,500 for $4,500. And the price would have to get somewhere up in here for me to lose $1,500, right? If this kept going sideways for 3 more days, I was going to add again. And eventually I was going to make it, I don't know, $5,000 for 15,000 or something like that, maybe even deeper. And if it took a deep dip dive, I was going to take the gains. But when I saw price action make the inverted on the 4 hour time frame, right around here, I opened up a long. And then right here, I undid the short, which was heavy. So, you know, I did lose about 1,000 in there. And then boom, I continued to pump further to the upside. So the idea was to cover myself. Now, what if they flip it back down and we go, you know, and that's the key. They're making it very difficult, but I'm going to keep covering both ways. You see? And I can open up long and shorts, break even. And then when I see the move, you know, so I think I have a pretty good way of, I believe, figuring out how to lose the least amount of money and still catch the big move. It's not going to be easy, though, and everyone else is going to have difficulty. No one you know, I don't care, any trader is going to be like, oh, I've got it perfectly, you know. People are going to get wrecked. Some people are going to go heavy short, and this thing might go wrong. Some people might go heavy long. I'm going to wait for confirmation. Like, I'd like to see us break 99, make a flag. But anyway, let me do my top 10 analysis and slow down. So just so you know what happened, I was in the short. I cut it off. I flipped long yesterday. They broke even. And then this morning, I opened up a very small long, as you can see, and I'm down about $120 right now on weeks. So that's kind of where we stand. Just so you're right with me and we're all on the same page. And it's not, because I could see how it's like, whoa, what's happening? If you only tuned in a piece here and there, you're like, what is he saying? What's going on? Okay. I still kept half of the money that I put out of the market. Okay. So I still have, a couple $100,000 sitting on the sidelines in case we take a massive dump. I could take advantage of alts. And that's really about it. Like for me. And then it's business as usual. Okay. This does look to me like a bit of an Adam and Eve. They tend to make these little flags afterwards. I've seen it many times. So there's still a chance here that Bitcoin does get a move to the upside based on that. Let's take a look at our monthly. Let's break down what happened yesterday. Let's look at our weekly candle close and just, the aftermath of it all. So first thing I want to look at is the daily close yesterday. It was a green close. It was above the previous candle. It was a bullish engulfing candle. You would expect today would be a bullish candle. That's it. Just if you go through all the times that the green candle was bigger than the red candle, the day after is likely right there. Another green one right there. Another green one right there. Another green one, even though followed by sideways price action. Right there. Another green one right there. That wasn't even one. That wasn't one. That was one. It was followed by a nasty red where they went after every wick. So there's a beautiful bullish engulfing candle. A crazy manipulation wick to the downside. Went after anyone that decided to long that and then continued to pump it to the upside. That's insane right there. We could have one of these days today. They might stop hunt everybody. You never know, right? But, right, and there's one. Actually, we had a red candle after a bullish engulfer. There's another red one after. So interesting. There's that's a tiny green one. So it's okay. It's not amazing. This one's pretty solid because it wasn't too big. When it's really big, I get weary. Anyway, and we got above daily resistance. There was a resistance because wherever you had resistance, that's where you need to break back above. And then we even wicked kind of pretty close to it and front ran that area. So it's telling me that support and resistance is starting to show signs of a move for Bitcoin. All right. And this is a heavy, the bears tried very hard. They had 5 days of consolidation. They made themselves a symmetrical triangle, which mainly break to the downside. Remember, it's a 50-50 pattern, right? Another thing you want to understand is this is, if you flip it upside down, the 21 is starting to kind of get pulled away from the 200. You do see how this could end up being a massively bigger dump because that could be a bearish cross. See the 50 coming for the 200? It looks clear here because you can see the 50, but the right side is this way, right? So I just want you to understand these concepts. There is a death cross coming. However, I'll tell you what, a lot of times, we have, like I've seen a death cross, like here, the death cross was here. It marked the bottom. You see that? We had a low. We went a little lower after the death cross, but we were able to come back after that. Right there, the death cross basically was like a day before the bottom. So if this goes true, we are going to dump one more time, maybe somewhere to 96,000. So maybe we do, it's something like this that could happen. We're going to get the death cross right there. That's the wick the day after. And then Bitcoin comes, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but the pattern every time we had the death cross, it was the bottom. Interesting, right? My other buddy's into that, so interesting, right? So everyone gets scared of the death cross, but you just got to look at the data. Everyone, see, what I've noticed about technical analysis is people repeat things that aren't true. And the herd loves to repeat. So they'll, oh my God, the death cross. And yeah, it's not a great sign. Like I don't like to front run a death cross and go bull. But you got to take into account where you're at, what's happening, where the support or resistance is and stuff of that nature, right? So the daily, just to go again, it opened at 102. No, it's okay. It opened at 102.319, 40 cents. The high was 105.487. The low was 101.400. And the candle closed at 104,730, up $2,411, up 2.36%. So it was a beautiful candle yesterday, a nice $2,400 candle. Shout out to anyone that took the trade with me. We took basically the majority of the move yesterday to the upside. God bless anyone that did. And we sold the top. We sold the local top. Hey. So now what? Now what goes on? Well, let's see. This candle doesn't look amazing off the bat, right? It looks like it kind of came into resistance here. And that makes sense. Look, bounce. So right where you got to look left and see where did you have a, consolidation? Where have you bounced? And you can see it's a pretty strong area. I like to call it a bubble Why is that? Because it's a bubble. It's not just one area. It's a bubble area, right? It's an area like, see? And so you could see you have resistance, 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 fall through, bounce. It's a likely area of resistance. And of course, you did come there for resistance. 105, 383, baby. Let's go. We're still in the trade. Bitcoin bouncing. Now we're looking for that inverted head and shoulder. Very oversold as well. And staying above the 200 moving average. That's what you're looking for. The trade is still open on weeks, only down 126, and that's why I go small ball on Monday. I could still make myself my $500 before 12 o'clock. You see what I'm saying? It's not about how small the trade is. It's about how to utilize the market to make my daily gains. That's all that matters to me. All right? And if I can use the market to teach too, if it's a teaching day, I love it. Some days the market could be flatter. Every day's a teaching day, but I like the live trading when you can really get into the nitty-gritty. There's nothing better than that. You know it. I know it. We love it. So let's take a look at the 12-hour time frame. It's getting into the high overbought region and didn't really get back above resistance. You know, some could say, look, this is a bear flag here on the 12-hour time frame. You might have yourself a nasty dump down to $92,000 BTC. So it's not over yet. I still have half my money out the market. I don't trust this market entirely. I'm going to wait for us to get back above and bounce for me to allocate. And again, when I say have my money, I have a stash of money that I use that I've been kind of swinging in and out of altcoins, right, at certain times. And I use that basically to go in and out of the market in chunks. And what I like to do is get out of things when the swing trade, you know, and get back into things when the market looks better. So right now, and again, I don't like to pump too much more in. Sometimes I might like butter the toast, meaning I might just add to a position to even it off. Buttering the toast, right? But what I like to do is just, you know, cryptocurrency, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but you don't, in my humble opinion, I don't have to put tons of money in crypto to make tons of money. I have to put the right amount in at the right time. And I know that sounds like, you know, and if it's not the perfect time, at least know how to DCA in. So no matter what, I'm like somewhat covered and not to be over risked, right? So I learned that lesson the hard way. I used to put everything I own in the market. Because I was like, I gotta, you know, now I don't do that. I always take something out. I always make sure that I have cash on the side, you know, an asset I could possibly sell to, right? Like a house, an apartment building, possibly a classic car, something like that to withhold your fiat, you know, a work of art, maybe a gold watch, maybe not even just a watch, but a gold watch specifically, right? Maybe gold, a gold bar, right? I love Bitcoin, don't get me wrong, stash it all in Bitcoin, but you never know, right? It's now in Bitcoin. And there's risk to everything in life. That's all I'm trying to say. There's risk to everything in life. So remember, we gave you this short at 107.7 on Monday morning in the trading group. We even said exactly where we would like to sell, 99.1. It went a little lower. Everything worked out. We got the bounce. I was still somewhat weary, but once I saw this shoulder, head, shoulder, I didn't trust any of the bounces here. I was looking for the daily to make a bear flag and take us further to the downside, really, to be honest. Like, I was very bearish looking for the dump. I'm still very weary of this pump. I'm not truly sold here. I'm just like, you know, so what I'm going to do is just trade it. You know, I'm never going to sell BTC. I'm allocated long in Bitcoin. That's the majority of my holdings. So like, I don't stress, if you can understand, because I made the right decision for the last 8-9 years. So today I get to ride the wave of an 8-year decision. Okay. And again, it's not over. I'm not saying, you know, I'll never stop. But what I want to tell you is once you commit to long-term and then you get to that place long-term, you can look back and be like, wow. Because a long-term person was never greedy. It means you put your money where your mouth is no matter what happened. So it means you believed in yourself. You had honor. You cared. Right? The person that did that made it through some of the toughest times when the market said it wasn't going to go. There was multiple bear markets that person must have went through. A lot of people them sold at 80x, at 60x. This person made 100x and never sold. Imagine 100xing Bitcoin and never selling, because the conviction is it's not about 100xing the fiat. It's about holding the better asset over time. You know, the person that understands the philosophy of Bitcoin understands the best way to invest in it. You know what I mean? In my humble opinion. And that's my opinion, okay? And my opinion is definitely not financial advice for any reason. It's just what I believe and think. All right, I'm entitled to my own independent thoughts about the markets. So yeah, this is a great area of liquidity. You can see it, and it's going to be a battle. And so far, the bulls have lost the battle with a wick into the area, but we were able to pinch and push in, but we didn't really get it all, okay? What I want you to take a look at too is the monthly time frame. I'm going to look at the monthly just on another chart, just because I have so much good stuff built already on that chart alone. What chart am I on here? I'm on the KuCoin. You could do it on any chart. It doesn't matter. So I just want to deep dive the monthly with you, and have some, have a moment here on the monthly. BTC USD. Even USD will be slightly different though. I just want to make sure it's a large chart. I want to see like some of these weren't as long as I want them to be, meaning they haven't had Bitcoin USD for as long as we should. FIBBONACCI has been along there a long time, but let's see. Bybit, Spot. But I think I already had something on. Okay, Bybit Spot works for me. So remember, just like we stuck to the monthly here, and we said as long as we stay above 108,163, we're bullish. Same idea here. As long as we stay above 102,578, I remain bullish. Like if the monthly candle can just stay above that, like you never know. Bitcoin could end up doing one of these wacky bull. My only thing is it tells me that I don't see Bitcoin going crazy. It could have 1, 2, 3, 4 months, like March, till it gets tight enough for us to have a decision. You see? So if it is bullish, unless it just goes on a massive run, like this ends up being a little flag, and it pumps out the flag, which I guess is also possible. It would have to start pumping neck by, like December would have to be super green, and then we could go on an absolute tear, right? It still says if we went on like one of the most vertical moves Bitcoin ever went on, which what we did in the past. Like this is one of the greatest moves Bitcoin ever made. I mean, that's beautiful. 4 months straight of pumpage. If it does anything like that, it could maybe get there by March 1st. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of people are claiming Bitcoin's going to it's going to have to make a I don't even like using the word God candle, because I think it's somewhat blasphemy. God is amazing. No candle could compare to God. So when I say it, I feel guilty. It's almost like God looks at me. He's like, don't do that. So I want to say it because I've said it in the past before I was more conscious of my word, but now I don't like using that word. I want to find a different word for it, but everybody knows what I'm, but a massively unbelievable candle that no one would believe, a candle that people just like can't believe. So the trade's only down $95 now. We're at 105.5. We may, Bitcoin's recovering somewhat pretty nicely here above that 200 moving average. It's very oversold on the 1 hour time frame. So this is our bullish scenario for BTC, that you never go back below 103 or whatever. Let's see where this candle closed at 102.427, right? So you stay above 102,005. And we said that before, but remember, it doesn't matter where the monthly goes. It matters where the candle closes. So here we are with 21 days left, 21 Bitcoins and 21 questions on 11/10, right? Tomorrow, 11/11, big day. We'll see what happens. Today's a big day. Today it comes. Everything is coming. Today it comes, baby. It comes, baby. Today, baby, today. Shout out to my lovers of life. And how could you not be excited about today? Today could be the greatest day of your life. Today is the greatest day of your life, because if you're building a beautiful future, every day is a beam in the house that you're building. I listened to Jim Rohn again today while I worked out, and he ingrained again some knowledge that I must share with you. A giga candle. A giga candle. I like that. Thank you. I love it, man. Yeah, the giga candle. The giga candle. I love it. Let's take a look here at the 2-week chart for Bitcoin, showing signs of a tweezer bottom. Is there a wick there? There is. It made us a wick on the 2-week. I'm telling you right now, this candle will close in 13 days and 19 hours. So we have 2 weeks to wait. And honestly, we might just go up and down for 2 weeks. 108,000 is going to be a big deal once we cross it. Bang, bang, bang. Send me 2 ties over here. Hey, the guy wears 2 ties at the same time. I've never seen it, huh? Get the papers, get the papers. So, I mean, and you know what's crazy is the 2-week chart, if you want to be awkwardly bullish, delusionally bullish, we could be getting something like this here back to the upside. All right. So the thing is, I am a proper bear. I can be a proper bear and a delusional bull at the same time. That's the beauty of this analysis, right? And now we're going to jump back to the weekly. I just wanted to go over the ideas. So remember, the monthly stays above 102.5. The Bears really have no leg to stand on. Even if they're screaming and yelling, jumping and singing and, you know, we break 102.5, I'm with the Bears. I'm hanging out. I'm putting my shoulders with them. I'm saying, let's take the bear flag. Let's take the bear flag. And that we could be in a bear flag on the 22-hour time frame, sad to say. So that's the bearish news here. Is that this could very well be a nasty little bear flag here that takes us down to about $91,000 and gives us low prices for those altcoins. And do they go into a multi-year bear market? All right. So like now, like honestly, whatever I hold now, I'm willing to hold for the next, the only altcoins I'm holding are coins I'm willing to hold through the entire of next cycle. Like that I believe are going to come back and do damage. And trust me, if we do go into some type of bear market like this, we'll switch to shorting. We'll look for opportunity. There will be AI bubbles. We'll trade the Weeble stock market. We'll move, you know what I mean? We'll do whatever we have to. Trust me, I will never give up. I will always find opportunity. I know that. I always have. And I never stress because God loves me and God loves you and God will always provide. You know, I was listening to a sermon the other day and the guy said, you know, God feeds the tiny birds that wake up every morning. He said, do you not think the bird knows exactly where it's going to get food? Did the bird write down how it was going to get food the night before? You know, maybe it did. It's pretty smart, you know. But, you know, some birds, I mean, parrots can talk, right? But so the idea is, you know, they're so fragile and little. You've seen some birds, they're tiny, right? And they make it home to the nest. Not all of them. They do get eaten. I get it. But, you know, majority of them make it home to the nest, to their babies, and they get fed. The whole point is the birds get fed. And the bird doesn't really truly know when it's going to get fed. And me and you are just like those little birds, man. You think you could be 6'6", 390 pounds. You could be one of the biggest guys in the game. You could squat 500, 800 pounds, whatever it is. You're still a tiny bird, man. A fragile bird in this earth. Like you're a tiny, tiny being. The biggest human is still just a blip on the map, right? And God takes care of each and every one of us. Anyway, I'm back to the TA, but I just want you to understand, if he could take care of those tiny birds, have faith that he will beautifully take care of you. You're a beautiful, giant work of art worth hundreds of birds. You know what I'm saying? So just remember that. If God takes care of those tiny birds, man, he takes care of you just the same. Your food comes to your plate tonight. Food will come to your plate tonight. Everybody here, likely, right? Everybody here in the stream, food will come to our plate tonight. Right? You're going to understand. Oh, you went to the store, you bought food, all that, but like food will come to your plate tonight. And next week and the week after, food has come to my plate every day of my life since I was born. Right? God has provided for me my entire life. Why? What lack of faith I would have to think that God hasn't been there. Not one day have I gone without food. You know, I've been hungry a few times. There's been some tough times that I went without when I did. But man, there was always something there. My whole life. 365, 24/7. God has never let me down. So, ye of little faith, God will never let you down. I'm telling you right now with all my soul. Anyway, let's get back into the charts. This could be a horrible bear flag. As I scare everyone with the most horrible TA ever. They're like, no. But we have to come to terms. Like, this could be a bear flag here that takes us further to the downside. The 22-hour doesn't look amazing. And we're getting to overbought territory, right? So we just, you know, again, I'm not saying it's guaranteed. We are also at the top of the range. And I could see us kind of break down to the bottom of the range here at 96,000. And still, we'd make a nice bullish divergence and possibly get on out of here to the upside. So there's still some downside looking, all right? There's still some downside coming, but, you know, let's see. The bullish scenario is that you've broke above 104, and that was resistance, and we could be using that as support. The 21 is curving, which is usually a good sign, and we had an inverted head and shoulder that broke us to the upside. So we had a reversal pattern. Things went our way. The 21, right? Everything kind of sitting pretty. And then we broke above the 200 moving average. We had a Bart Simpson. We came back to challenge the resistance. So here we are. We have a pretty good map of today. So here's the possible bear flag that we talked about on the bigger time frames. We kind of have an Adam and Eve too, right? A cup and handle in a way there that bounced to the upside. Isn't that insane how it's like always what it is? So, and we're holding 105. So let's take a look here for BTC. So what's the bullish scenario today? The bullish scenario is you keep above resistance, right? You use this area. It's kind of a bubbled area again, but the low of the range is 104, the high of the range is 104.7, but you basically don't lose 104,000. You get this golden cross here on the 1 hour time frame. The stochastics reset to the upside, and we get a nice little reversal here. This turns into a inverted head and shoulder. And we go on our merry way tonight. Like I love to trade Mondays after 6 to 7 p.m., right? And this was just the tail end of the monthly, of the daily, and the weekly candle. Like this dump was the tail end of the new week candle. You see? This is just the weekly candle dump, and it gives us just a wick, and that gives us the low of the week. It looks pretty cool how we're having a front run of a golden cross. You can go back in time and say, well, when was the last time the 50 was about to cross the 200? And I'd be like, oh, you want to see that? Do you want to see it? Yeah, like, Sam, why are you telling me this? Who are you to tell me? I'd say, okay, well, let's just take a look. I mean, right there at front ran. Again, we kind of dumped as we came into that. But you want to see a dump. Like we just had a nasty dump. We reversed. That's when you want to see, look, there was the 50 about to cross. And you could see, yes, like it ended up turning out to be kind of similar. We got above the 200. We made the flag. They kind of wicked us down, but they got back inside. The measured move would be this whole pole, right? Basically tells you you'll get somewhere up to here. You do. And then look what it does. It makes a bit of an ascending triangle. You see this? And you can see the measured move would be the length here, and then you get the move, and then it makes a flag. They snatch all the liquidity that would have long 50x to 100x on the flag. Those are anyone who's on like the 1 minute to the 5. But if you traded the 1 hour and put your stop below the previous support as resistance, which was here, you wouldn't have been stopped down and you would have been able to cash in on this move, right? So because I'm not as greedy as other people, my trades are smaller at times, and I don't go as crazy, I lose less, but I'm also able to get more of the move. And I could teach you this over and over again. And it doesn't mean I'm going to win every trade. And I also am selective of when I make my trades heavier. I looked at the market, and I teach you guys this every day. And this is very important. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay? Saturday, Sunday. All right? I'm going to do this for you. I don't think I've ever done this. I'm going to do this one time for you. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to explain how this goes down. All right? But what I want you to do before I explain that, I want you to go to the video description if you can. All right? And I want you to go into the first link that you find there in the video description, if you can. And I want you to click that link. And why am I desiring for you to do that? I desire you to do that because it's going to give you a discount to the Black Friday early bird sale. It's going to give you an extra 10% before the actual sale goes live. So if you want to jump on in today, I would suggest you do that. That will give you basically an invitation 24 hours before my Black Friday sale to get an extra discount on the Black Friday sale. All right. So hit that link, fill it out. You click on it. It comes out and get that. And if you did it last year, you got to do it again. Okay. And you'll get an email from us and bang, bang, bang. All right. That'll get you in for the extra discount. We greatly appreciate that. Okay. I'm going to show you something in a second that's going to blow your mind about when and why I trade. If you want to be a day trader, this is key information. All right. If you're looking to day trade and you like to take market out, you want to actually make somewhat a profession of this. You want to have long-term holdings, but you also would like to day trade. This is very important information I'm going to give you. No matter what you trade, I don't care if it's Forex. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care where you are in the world. Very important information. All right. I'm going to give that to you in about 5 to 10 minutes and break it down. So here we are. Let's go back into the 1 hour time frame so you know exactly what we're looking at. We want to see Bitcoin basically stay out of this. I can almost say this was the bear flag and maybe we're out of it. It was like here and we're out. You know, we kind of got out of that. It was a chance we could have went down, but it inverted head and shoulder to the upside. It's just retesting this area of support and resistance. Let me bring it up here. So yeah, you do not want to break 104,000 today. You do that, it's not going to, I feel like that's a bearish sign. And we're going to look for this to make some type of flag. This should take by like 8 to 9 o'clock, somewhere between 6 and 8 o'clock. I'm looking to enter the long. I've done this so many times with you all. We've watched the false move of the day, you know, and again, there's just less volume because of all the liquidations that have occurred in the last month. It's just been crazy. If this goes sideways today, this will help the strong altcoins recover a bit here too as well for Bitcoin. So I'm still long BTC, stop below the 200. I'm down 120 in the trade. All right, no love, lost. We're all set. We're very oversold. Bit of an even, look at the shoulder, head, right shoulder on the stochastics RSI. You see that? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. There's a beautiful inverted on the stochastics. I can't tell you how many times I've made money on that. So we'll see. Things are looking up for us and our longs. And anything could happen. But let's stay, you know, and look at, if we hit here on the green, I mean, look, 88%. You know, I don't even know what that is. Happy, an old coin back in the day. CLOR, which is with the SEI, it's a meme on SEI, right? I don't really care, but Astro, up only, funny, right? I don't trade any of these coins. I'm just looking to see, you know, look, Boo even had a huge move, and that's the coin that really drives Sonic. Velodrome, right? Let's take a look at my baby AERO and see what's happening with Aerodrome Finance on Coinbase. So here, let's take a look. So I like what AERO's doing. I like how it's hanging above the 200 moving average on the daily. I do own AERO. It's one of my favorite coins. I've been, you know, into it for almost 2 years now. My average is about 35 cents. I've been holding this thing both pumps. I never sold, and I added a little bit each time we dipped, and we'll see where this thing can go. And it's just the automated market maker. It's the cake. And Cake did very well. I just believe that somehow, some way that AERO is going to do damage over time, but you never know. You know, and again, you got to figure your own education and see if it fits your whole style. But for me, it's interesting because the tech, right? I'm looking at the automated market maker. I'm looking at how the fees are going to flood in, and Coinbase, right? Backed by Base, it's Coinbase's baby inside of DeFi. And you know, you have to know a lot more to connect the dots. You're not just going to look at AERO, understand all that. You kind of have to understand what DeFi is, what an automated market maker is. You kind of have to go through the years. You know, you don't have to, but it's good to know the story of Cake, because if you know the story of Cake, it would make sense where AERO, the pathway that Aerodrome is going to take, right? That's a beautiful cup and handle too as well. It is up from entry at 88 cents, and we will see from there. Let me jump into the chat now. I get really inspired by the chat, and I love hearing what each and every one of you have to say. I have a full book of coins we went over the years on your lives. And remember Jasby, yes, of course. Yeah. Hey, Sam, what's your opinion on gay coin? Do you think gay owners will... I have no idea. I've never heard of it. Yeah. Dang, 2 years. Can't believe it's been that long. God is love. I love you, man. Yeah. In the house, can you look at Opulus? Oh, remember Opulus? Yeah. Aerodex is the biggest DEX on Coinbase. Yeah. Hi, Sammy. What's your opinion on... I don't know. Let's move on now. That's now a spam, and I'm going to hide you from the channel. I love you, but you've just lost privileges to type. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Funny, not funny. Because I would have loved for you to like have something to say and been a part of the stream. Because I'm sure you're a beautiful person with so much to give, but we just can't have that. Okay? We just can't have that. Okay, so queso, right? It sounds like queso. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What is going on here? What's happening? I'm going to tell you if you stay tuned. I love the 11 o'clock. We should do this, right? But I'm going to teach you how I take my process in trading, the days in which I trade, the times in which I trade, and why. okay, and how it helps my life. Felt like a family member is here. God bless you, man. Thank you. It's very nice of you. Shout out to Zia Talks. I mean, such a nice person, right? What a nice guy. Jason Casper is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. May God bless him and his channel and everything he does, man. May he continue to prosper and live a wonderful life. You know, when you wish other men prosperity, you gain prosperity. You know what I'm saying? When you release yourself and just want the best for the world wants the best for you, right? 100%. You reap exactly what you sow. Whatever you believe, the energy you keep is the energy you receive. 100%. All men of God understand that key principle, and that's why they live good lives, right? It's not like you're not tempted by the devil. It's not like you don't hear whispers of evil. It's you know how to turn away and ask God for help anytime it does come your way, right? Thank you for your insight. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. I've just been trading the Toronto Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, crypto, Forex, all sorts of different stuff in my life, and it's just been a trip. It's been an amazing, amazing time. Let's take a look here at what's hot today, too, on CoinMarketCap. Anything creeping up behind the scenes right now. StarkNet. Funny, that thing had a huge dumpage. It's a really good project, but there was too much VC money in there. And Trump Coin actually getting a bit of a move. I remember some big company put billions of dollars. Pump Fun up 19%. We went over that, too, a little bit. Up 12% in 24 hours. Someone asked us to go over it. Render up 7.8% back to 262. Injective at 79.5. Wow. Plasma, Punji Penguins. MyX Finance. Wow, Ondo just really behind the curve. Really sad to see. Up 11% on the week, but dang, man, back at 68. Just such a sad story there. Solana back to 166 in a sweet spot, waiting to see what Bitcoin does into tonight. Bitcoin back to 115. Yikes. 105, I mean, not 115, 105. Seeing if it can hold that level. Chainlink 16, SWI at 216. And the market just waiting to see what Bitcoin does. And I showed you, like, we're not out the water yet. I wish we were. I wish it was like, oh, yeah, bullish, we're just going to rip. But you never truly know here. So let's talk about what I'm talking about is Monday. Monday, they're looking, the candle has just started the night before at 8 p.m. It's halfway through. It comes into the morning. And what happens is people wake up. And a lot of people just forget about Monday, don't realize what it is, or maybe haven't traded for as long as the more veteran traders. And they start stacking. And usually you're going to get just more shorts than longs or more longs than shorts. And it's not perfect every time, but it's something like this. And what happens is the market tends to get pressure. And everyone thinks it's a market maker and it's the people, but it's really the market. The market just moves towards liquidity, man. And if you have so many people longing, you're going to, and so even if, and usually for whatever reason, the market will look like it's going to pump on Monday morning and it will dump. Like this morning, the market looked good. Even now, the market looked like it could, and then it will lose the 200. It will just dump on you, right? So there's still a chance that we get a dump down here to the downside. Understand? Like, on Monday morning, and I've seen it so many times. So you wait really for Monday, or I place a smaller bet than normal, okay, on a Monday. And usually after the move, something happens. They go after all the liquidity, and usually by 2, 3 o'clock, every once in a while it's an extended move, and we get a massive dump. But that's rare, right? Usually it's a dump, comes back up. We find the bottom on the 1 minute. 1 minute gets back above the 2, the 5, and then we make some flag on the 15. And usually what I see is by like 6 to 8 o'clock at night, on Monday, we get what we're seeing now here. Like we get some type of consolidation, things start to make sense, and we start to kind of see, and I usually see good probabilities. Somewhere between, sometimes it's 11 at night, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 8, but I usually see a pretty good trade Monday night. Now Tuesday, I usually wake up many times with that trade in gains. And I see us pumping, and we're kind of sideways, and a lot of times I take profits around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, between 7 and 8. Sometimes I keep the trade open if it's still looking bullish. But a lot of times I'm out, and then I see us consolidate. And then by the show, it tends to show, like if I take profits around 7 a.m., around 11 or 10 to 11, we tend to get another move on Tuesday, right? If the market's still going in the uptrend. And I tend to trade it live, or you see me get in. And sometimes I hold that till Tuesday night. And sometimes I hold that all the way till Wednesday morning, right? That same trade. Or I usually sell in the afternoon, and then I get in Tuesday night. I'm just showing you and then I trade again. I love the 7 a.m. to 12 o'clock session on Wednesday. Many times I'm in a trade there, and I'll hold the trade from this night all the way through. And then if I sell anywhere on Wednesday afternoon, I look to get into another trade, and usually these are long trades on Wednesday night. And then usually here I sell by Tuesday morning, and then my position sizes are, large to big Monday night, very large, the largest Tuesday night, a lot larger Tuesday, Wednesday night. And then my position sizes shrink these days. They're not as big, you see? I don't trade. These are when my position sizes are the biggest because they're based off liquidity. I don't trade whenever I want. I'm very disciplined about how much money goes into each trade based off the day that I'm trading. Now, again, every once in a while, I'll see a massive opportunity on a Saturday or Sunday, and I may, but it's rare that I'm going to take it in the same type of positions that I'm trading Monday night, And so the majority of my money is made Monday night through Thursday morning most of my life. And it took me a long time to figure this out. Shout out to Jason Casper. God bless you, man. And check him out. He's probably going to stream later today, if not throughout the week. Dude streams just almost as much as me. Never takes a day off. Loves his family. Is a farmer. Teaches you how to raise chickens. Eats his own meat. Not his own meat, like from his arm, but you know what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, God bless Jason Casper. I love you, man. Thank you so much for being awesome, teaching people the way. I heard you have a new channel about the Bible or something like that. Is that I can't confirm or deny that. I heard someone say that. I don't know if they were being funny. I would believe it if it's true. So, God bless you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. A dedicated trader puts his life on the line every single day for trading. Does his 10,000 steps during the trades too. I don't know how he pulls it all off. The guy's unbelievable. God bless you, man. And we'll be like an hour away, not too long from now, right? You're going to be coming down to my neck of the woods, baby. This time, we're definitely going to link up more than once. I'm going to come pick you up in the you-know-what, man. You know what I mean? I'm intending to never mention it on the channel, even though I did mention it, but, not fully mention it. Anyway, I love you. God bless. So, let's take a look here. If we can stay above the 200 moving average on the 1 hour, I remain bullish. No matter what, all the shenanigans they're doing right now is the Monday nonsense. Look, that's a beautiful Bart Simpson. And before this happened, it made a head and shoulder pattern. You can clearly see, it's a Bart Simpson, like if you've ever, but it's a guided head and shoulder. You see that? Just kind of, it's messy. And it's a Bart Simpson if you've ever seen one. Okay? It might come test the 200 moving average on the 15-minute, this high volume node yet again, where we broke out from last night. Remember, this is the trade I gave you yesterday, this flag right here. It's funny, you were live, Jason, and I was like, this is the trade. And you're like, I don't really trade flags like this. And I was like, looking at him, I'm like, that's exactly how I trade. It was so funny. I'm like, and I was like, man, I love how we trade different but see things sometimes, similar. A lot of times I'll sell the top when you get into a short. Like, that's when I'm like, all right, I'm out. And that's exactly when you short. And sometimes I'm like, why don't I short a mean? But I've been in such a big trade. I'm just like, I want to get out. I don't want to just get right back in. I'll just walk to you. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, he'll put on sandals and walk 2 hours down the coast. Woke up in the New Year's. You're funny. Life or don't mention it, but we'll flash it on screen from time to time. I didn't do it on purpose. That was actually an accident. Yeah. It was an accident. Yeah. Someone said, Crypto Reggae said, if you continue to repeat what I say without acknowledging my name. I never repeated what you said, so I don't know. It could have been a coincidence. Shout out to Crypto Reggae, man. God bless you. I love reggae. Looked into reggae for years of my life. Actually played reggae today as I picked up my daughter, as I dropped my daughter off at school. Made sure everyone could hear that I had reggae playing. So God bless you, man. So yeah, things don't look amazing here. Bitcoin's gonna have to hold above the 200 moving average. Let's take a look at the smaller time frames. They're breaking down on us. The 1 minute and the 5 minute are really gonna kind of tell us where we're going. Dang, below the 200 moving average. Look at that. And this is weird, but I've seen this before. See how it's like a slanted head and shoulder pattern? It's tough to see, but you'll see like a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder there. And I've seen that play out to the downside. And that would take you somewhere back down to 102.9 for BTC. Not too bad. We'd bounce off the bottom of this channel, but that's so your bearish move today could take us to 1029. Let's take a look at BOOKMAP and see what's happening to liquidity here. And they got more liquidity to the downside as well. They still got 98,000. BOOKMAP still calling for a move to the downside, and the bulls are struggling today. We had a chance to get a beautiful move on that 1 hour time frame, and we didn't get it. So that tells me things are a little weak at the bull side. That's why I can't deploy all the capital back into the market just yet. I would love to. I'd love to tell you Bitcoin's skyrocketing. We're all good. Everything's great. Alt season's coming. But honestly, I don't know if that's true. I see a lot of people telling me that's true. They're all saying dominance is done. We're going to cook. You should have bought yesterday and all that stuff. But I take this one step, one day at a time. One candle at a time. And I can't tell you what's going to happen for sure. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Yesterday, I was able to call along because I have a system where I use the 200 moving average and, and today I know that we're bullish if we can stay above the 1 hour 200, but I can't really tell you anything more. And we got to take it one step, one candle at a time. And I could tell you that I'm long, and I could show you where my stop loss is, and really, and then be truthful if I win or lose. There's nothing else I can do. That's the best I can do for you. Okay? And I think that works. Yeah. So I would really look at the 1 hour. I would just make sure this 1 hour is staying above these key levels. And I did show you how there's some treachery on the smaller time frames, kind of a drunken, twisted head and shoulder pattern. And I'm not a huge fan of this wick, but hey, maybe we come clean it up. A fast move down usually gives us a fast move back to the upside. That's usually unsustainable manipulation. We shall see. Remember, if we lose the 200 on the 1 hour, it's not going to be a good sign. And there's a chance we're just coming back down to this level here, like back to test this line. 1028, 103,000. And the 5 minute does look like, that looks, let me see the 1 minute. The 1 minute looks like it's kind of making a head and shoulder now. Look at this. You got a shoulder, a bit of a head, and a possible right shoulder there. So that, I see some treachery in the market. It doesn't look amazing. And you could say, is that bullish div? It is slight bullish. Yeah, that is a swing down. That is a swing up here. Look, a little bit of bullish div on the 1 minute time frame, but doesn't seem to be too powerful and didn't really get us back above key levels. And look, this was a head and shoulder too on the 1 minute. Again, remember, I teach losing the 200 moving average is weakness. It's not where you want to, that's when we usually have a bit of an issue. And right there, we lost the 200 moving average for BTC on the 1 hour time, on the 1 minute time frame. And look, that's drop. And then you went through this gap of the VRVP back to this liquidity zone. So haven't really made much money for crypto, but learned a lot from you, my man. Thank you for saying that. That's the great thing about Sam. He is objective. It doesn't play I am bull bear game. He waits for 200 base signals and admits nobody knows. I will forgive him all for all the you're funny, man. Hey, God bless you, man. Thank you. What future you see? And again, I don't push religion on you. You don't have to believe in God and all that. I just want to let you know it's my core belief system. It's how I got myself through the death of my parents, and it's just how I got through a lot of the trials and tribulations of my life. And whatever you do to get you through is whatever you do. I love you, and I just want to make sure everyone has a good life. That's all. What future you see on Jitto coin can pull back to 4? Possibly. I just enjoy your live, man. I enjoy you, man. God bless you. Thank you for being here and being absolutely amazing. You people keep me going. It's your energy and vibe that gets me rocking every day and in a good mood. I get this music playing. I get myself in a zone and I get ready to take over the world, baby. And each and every one of you gives me the strength and the ability to keep going. God bless you all. If we can hold 105, we have a chance to survive. I don't like how this 1 minute is starting to play out inside what looks to me like could be another head and shoulder pattern. So I'm already getting a front-run idea here that they may take us somewhere down to 103.5, 103.6. Right? May God always protect you and your family. Back to bearish. I don't know. I'm not really truly back to bearish yet. I'm just watching the channel, right? Shout out to Retro Motion 20. Everyone say, God bless you, Retro Motion. New to the channel. Tell them that the lifers love them. Say, what up, Retro Motion? And watch he'll probably never see a channel where this many people say hi to him. Everyone just say, hey, Retro Motion, welcome to the channel. And he's going to be like, what? I've never seen this happen before. Watch. Welcome this person to the live. Say, what up, Retro Motion? Say, lifers love you, buddy. You're in the right place. My life is not happy. I put all my money on Jito coins. And I am coming. Can you look at Jito coins? I'll look at Jito, yes. Did the government reopen yet? Not just yet. Yeah. The 8 channel 1 minute will fill the CME gap eventually. Thank you. Shout out to my travel guide 3028. Yep. Exactly. Welcome to all the people here on the live. Thank you for being here and hanging out with the lifer. We appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in. Hit the like button on your way in. We love you. We thank you. May God bless all the beautiful people here, and God bless thankful for all the people that are here hitting that like button. So let's move in. Is there opportunity for altcoins? I mean, they actually may take a move further to the downside as well, right? If Bitcoin falls down, which it looks like it may here, look at it. You're below the 200. You tried to come up. You got resistance. And we know what levels matter on the bigger time frames too as well. And we may come and purge those. 103 and 103.6 if we fall through 104. I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure, but you can see it's starting to look like it is. I would love a reversal. I want to see the 1 hour just bounce here. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. We had a chance, really. We didn't close a strong 1 hour candle. We boomed up nicely, and then we got eaten by the wick. And that's a nasty Bart Simpson there, too. A big rejection by 106.5. Looks like we may come back down to the 200 moving average. All right. I'm wearing pants. I'm always wearing pants. I got pants on. Yep. I got nice blue pants on that look really nice with the blue suit. What exactly will change the global economy if the broke U.S. government reopen? It's nothing burger, unfortunately. I think a lot of people are clinging to that too. I don't really see what the whole, it'll create more liquidity in the market is what people believe, right? More people will get paychecks. That money will start flowing into different things. And then that money trickles in to risk on assets and crypto and stuff. But I mean, how risky are those people? It doesn't make too much sense to me. It's not like a perfect story. A lot of stuff is fluff on Twitter, man. I'm not saying Twitter is good to assess the market and see what people are saying. So let's engage. Let's start a poll with each and every one of you. I want to see, are you bullish or bearish? And let's see what people were saying. And I'd like to take bets on that beforehand. What do you guys think people are bullish or bearish? So are you bullish or bearish? Start a poll. Jump on into the poll. Let me know. You'll see it in the top of the chat there. Near the pinned comment. See the pinned comment where you can also hit any of the links you want to join and trade where we trade. Can you look at Sol? We'll take a look at Sol. I am bullish. Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry to say I'm bearish. Yeah. Can you look at Sol? Yes. Let's take a look at Solana. First, I'm going to look at the total market cap in all of crypto, though. So listen, we could still be making a bear flag here. That gets a bearish retest of the 200 moving average. The daily could turn. And this really could just be look, this is a channel. We hit the top of the channel with resistance, and we may be just coming back to the bottom of the channel too as well. So not only would the bear flag break down, but something like this, it would break down like this. Somewhere back to $3.12 trillion. This is kind of what I see happening. If we can't punch through, that's why the key is I wouldn't go full blown back into the market side unless I see us get back above the 200. The 21 comes up and we get my model. That's going to tell me we have a safe pickings to get back inside. It's sad. You will miss some big gains in alts. That's the sad part. But to be safe, you either take the less, you buy a little higher, or you go risky, heck, and you get in right now. For me, if I get in right now, personally, I have to be ready to hold for the next 5 to 10 years, man. And if I'm not ready to do that, then I shouldn't be getting in right now. That's what I think. Or at least the next 3 years. I have to hold till after the next halving because things might not go exactly as planned. If that happens and I need access to that cash and I'm stressed out, that's not going to be a good look. So I can only put what I'm willing to put in that I know I could just not think about for the next 3 to 4 years. Now, maybe if we reverse and we have a massive move in the next 2 months, I'll be the smartest man in the game and it'll take care of me. Understand? And there's still a chance this 1 hour plays out. You know, we don't know. Look at that. Things are starting to kind of, you know, remember, I'm still long. I love when I do this because everyone's like, he has no idea what's happening. But I'm still long. See, I'm still playing the odds. I still know the odds are good if I'm above the 200. I still know that I'm front running a golden cross here on the 1 hour time frame. But it doesn't mean I'm not ready for the most bearish scenario. See, I just painted bearish scenarios in the small time frame. So I said, you know, this may not be great. I'm not telling you what's going to happen. I'm able to play the high, my subconscious mind has me long too. Sometimes I question why I'm doing this. I'm like, Sam, you just said it's a bearish. And then I'll win the trade later on today and people are like, but he was bearish, he was long, I don't get this guy. Because my subconscious mind is telling me what to do. I'm feeding it the data. When I go press the buttons, it's my mind that's telling me what to do from years of data. It's a logic takeover. See, it's neuroplasticity. I've learned this. And I know you think I'm crazy, but I'm not. You keep doing the same thing day in and day out, your brain will change. You won't be able to think the same way you thought before. Think about it. If you went live every single day and streamed and traded, you think your brain's going to be the same as it was 5 years prior to that? No way. You're going to be a different person. You're going to change your entire networking inside your brain. Trading will do that to you. That's why I want people to get into trading, because I think it's going to help you in every aspect of life. You ever see a friend, anyone know a friend, family member, cousin, that was kind of a lazy dude, wasn't put together, but he went into the Marines or the Army, and he came out like a pretty sharp individual, and they could say, well, you know what? I joined the Marines, and it whipped me into shape. I'm not trying to say this is the Marines, and you know, as Veterans Day is today, right? Today is Veterans Day? Are we correct? Or tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is Veterans Day. But as we approach Veterans Day, I want to say God bless all the, let me stop the music. God bless all the veterans. Moment of silence for all the veterans. Anyone we lost, and people that are just handicapped, maybe have been through something, a lot of pains in life for what they've given to the country. May God bless you. But, you know, the idea is trading is boot camp for the mind. It'll whip you into shape. And somehow, some way, you'll, like, I dress better since I started trading. I know it's like a joke, but, you know, I'm nicer to my wife. I'm a better father to my children. I'm more patient. To me, everything's a trade now. I wait for more information before I act silly. I'm less emotional than I ever was, you know? Trading has helped my life in many, many ways, and I believe it can help you too. Especially if you are like me, which I think you all are. That's why the algorithm brought you close. You know, if you're like me, you're a highly energetic person that wants to tell people a lot of stuff. You want to talk a lot. You want to engage. Either inside your mind, sometimes you may think you're not the most talkative person, but in your mind, you're always engaging. You may not be the most social, but in your mind, you are. And when you get the chance to talk, you love to talk. And you love to spread what you know. You're also the type of people that want to help someone else. You feel really good when you're telling someone something they should know to help them. You're also the type of person that get ridiculed for sharing that knowledge. Sometimes people don't understand you. You give them that knowledge and they think you're being a know-it-all, but you were just trying to help. And so you get misunderstood. I know exactly how it feels. I've been in that position so many times in my life. It's ridiculous. That's why I came to YouTube, to just not be judged and to see what the algorithm could bring to me so I could be with my tribe, man. Because I was sick of being misjudged all the time when I was just trying to help people, right? And specifically with cryptocurrency and you know, how to learn what was happening with the new financial system and how they were printing money to zero, right? Trade still down 46%, 117, but we're still in it. Looks like we may have double bottomed here. And there's signs of hope today. Today, this turns into a flag. We had to get the move. I mean, it could change the entire move of the month here. The 10th is the swing of the month because it's the first third of the month is out. We got to see how we transition into the next week. The first week is done in the month. We're into the second week of the month, the clean week. And we're going to kind of see where we go. So exciting times really to be alive. And we'll see. I like that this 15-minute 200, the more the 200 gets pulled up to price action, the better off we are. We want to see the 200 pull up. We want to see in a few hours from now. And if you're not sure how time will pass, you can always go like this, hit shift and go sideways. Look at this. 11 hours and 15 minutes, even less. In today, it's 11:11. So tonight, 10 o'clock, somewhere between 8 and 10 o'clock tonight, the 1 hour flag may be ripe and ready for a move. People don't want to wait all day for a trade. They don't understand how much patience plays in trading. Trading is not jumping into trades every 5 seconds. Last night we made the trade there. We sold there. I waited and waited. We got back in this morning. Or actually, I got back in last night because I saw it, but then I added this morning. But, you know, it is what it is. Or no, I opened up the week's trade. I opened up the week's trade last night, and this morning it was still there. Yeah, that's all. But to me, like, I would have added, if I wasn't in the trade, I would have added to the trade right there. I would have opened the trade too right there because it just made sense, right? Let's take a look. So total, we got to see a massive, a giga candle shoot up above this 200 moving average, shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we can kind of put this to bed. See, the thing is, it's hard to manipulate this market because they're either rolling it over or we're getting some saving grace. We get a saving grace right here. Solana rips to 180 pretty fast. You see what I'm saying? The altcoins just breathe of relief. Right now, the altcoins are still, people are still like, should I put money in? Should I not put money in? And that's what I'm telling you. The only people willing to put money in right now are the people that have big conviction, enough money on the sidelines to back up what they're putting in, and believe that, hey, I'll hold it for the next 3 years. If they tank the market to 86 to 76, you know, I'll DCA back into BTC. I'll hold all the altcoins I hold and see if they recover to the next cycle, right? It's like, to me, that's the smartest way to handle the market because it's proper allocation. It's proper, for me, it's proper allocation. It's proper risk. I know I'll be able to go to sleep at night, even if the market tanks. I'll be able to play with my kids in the park and I'll be happy. I'll take a deep breath and I'll say, okay, you know, we'll stack what we got to stack at the right times. And the fear and greed index too, it was all the way at 22, 23. Remember, that's the last time I went into Bitcoin pretty heavy. Maybe we don't get those lows again. There's a chance. You know, BOOKMAP's still hanging out at the red, but it doesn't mean it's going to hit it for sure. You know, it has been very accurate. And it's still claiming we're going to hit 97, 98,005. You can see this key area. And I'm not saying, oh, just because it's red, I short immediately. I use the charts and the 200 moving averages, you can see. And what I do is I grab as much information as I can. It's like this. It's like this, right? You know, in my mind, making trades is similar to a CEO, right? The CEO of a company who is hearing, you know, maybe he has a hiring team and they report back to him. And there's 5 different candidates for the job. And the CEO is looking at all the different candidates. And he's weighing in on all the ups and downs, you know, all the things, you know, this guy has this plus, this guy has this plus. And then he's got to make a decision which person to hire based on all the data that he knows in the past about people, based on the task he needs to get done, and based on what these people are providing as value. And he wants to see whose value matches his need, you know, his desire for a filled position. Trading is somewhat similar in a way when you're looking for the right trade. The right trade is all these different people, they want your money, right? They want to work with you. A trade wants to become part of you. It wants to trade with you. And you're looking at all the different things. You know, I look at BOOKMAP. And BOOKMAP gives me some data. You know, I look at the 200 moving average. It gives me some data. I look at the multiple time frames. I do my top-down analysis, right? From the monthly all the way down. That gives me some data. Then I look at the time frame that matters that I'm really honing in on. Then I see the stochastics RSI, right? And then I also look at candle bodies and maybe a Fibonacci, and that information comes into play. I also look at what day is it? Is it Monday night? Is it Tuesday night, right? And then my mind decides whether I'm going to hire that person, right? Like the CEO, aka, or, you know, in other words, make the trade. And so trading isn't just, okay, I know what I'm doing. It's compiling all these different things into a probability that makes sense to you. Now, how do you do that if you haven't been trading for a year? You don't know how to read BOOKMAP that well, first off. You don't know how to read the moving averages that well, second off. You don't understand how to use the stochastics as well as someone who's using it as long as I have. 3 things that need to be filled in. So there's just time to put in. There's just work to be done. Everyone wants this, like, oh, I'm going to buy an indicator. It's going to tell me when to buy and sell. Life's going to be perfect, and I'm going to set a bot, and I'm just going to get rich. But I have to be honest. It can work like that if you understand what's happening behind the scenes. You'll have a far better understanding of what's going on. And it'll make sense to you. So yeah, I would just watch the 1 hour time frame. We got 40 minutes till this candle closes. The other time frames are kind of giving us a lot of mixed signals. The 1 hour is the more solid one. Just make sure you don't lose the 200 on the 1 hour. And it looks like we may just be it would be great if we just pop. This would be awesome if this prediction comes true. And, somewhere by 8, 9 tonight, I'm opening up a long, or I'm just adding to the long that I already have there cooking right now. So this is beautiful. This is starting to make sense to me with Bitcoin. And I also know that it could make a right shoulder, lose the 200, and I can see levels. We're going to drop to the point of control. First, we're going to hit, somewhere here at 1028, and then we'll hit the POC at 1018, and then we could drop to 1 and all the way down there to 97,900. So we could be at 97,900 tonight, and I'll see it. We'll lose the 200 on the 1 hour. We'll make a bear flag on the 5 or the 15, and I'll tell her, and hey, we should probably short this bear flag. It's looking like we broke down. I'm going to be on it, and my system is going to keep me keeping you updated if you're in the Discord. So jump on it today. It could change your life. If you want to jump on into the Discord and you're thinking about it, we're going to have a beautiful discount. If you hit the link right here, Black Friday early bird sale, click that. That's going to give you a 24-hour access to a deeper discount than we're already giving. All right. That happens 24 hours before Black Friday. So hit that, fill out the form, and you could be in there today, right there. Click that link, a form comes out, and you're ready to go. You go to cryptolifer.com if you just want to see what our regular prices are, but these are going to be slashed for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And so I'd hate to put these out and not tell you that, because that's not what I do. And so there you go. So hit that link, get that extra discount. You deserve it. Why pay more for services when you can get them at a beautiful discount? 105,271, and I haven't taken a day off for years. We've hit so many amazing gains from altcoins. I found COAI in my trading group at $3. It went to 21. We found multiple coins. I was putting on Zcash when it was down there, 20, 40, 50 bucks a year ago. We were showing it when it was at 188. We put almost all the flags as it continued to pump. I have a crew of people that push out altcoins and that go through the altcoins all the time and find out beautiful setups that just, to help you and educate you. It's just a beautiful place to educate you and teach you of what's happening in the market. Check out cryptolifer.com to find out more every single day. So now I want to take you through Bitcoin dominance. You got to keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance throughout the week. It's something you want to kind of keep in your repertoire. You want to make sure you're checking it out. I always kind of redo what I do. I got to see things clear. For some reason, like all my old analysis is great, but let me clear it out and see it for what it is. Let's see for what it is. I mean, one good thing, right? The daily is getting oversold. However, I have seen us huddle down here and go on some massive downtrends. Same idea is, when Bitcoin falls off and the market kind of takes a move, you're going to get Bitcoin dominance to fall off pretty hard too. So one thing no one's really saying is, could this be like a bearish retest of this previous support, bounce, kind of treachery there, resistance, and then, is this going to fall? And if this falls, everyone says, oh, that's going to be alt season, but that's just not the case. So you don't see, people will just show you pieces of the market. They won't show you the whole piece. So I went on X the other night and it said alt season. So I clicked on it and I said, what are they saying? And every single person had this chart up on the weekly, and they all were like, oh, dominance, this is when it happens, and they, for me, it was in this, right? But they, they drew something like this or something like that. And they said, look, it's bearishly retesting, and it is overbought. I'll give them that. It could be rolling over. It's a little lack of bullish momentum, but it's not like a verifiable guarantee. Go to the 3-day chart and, there's a chance that this is consolidating. And if Bitcoin is going to load up to this 150, so this is another thing. The same people that tell you altcoin season is loading are the same people that tell you the bull run ain't over and Bitcoin's going to go to 150K by December. But which one is it? Is Bitcoin going to 150K by December, or is it alt season? You know what I mean? Santa rally. Santa rally for who? Because all the rallies was for Bitcoin. So if we have a Santa rally and it's a Bitcoin rally, and Bitcoin dominance is going to rise up here back to the top of the channel, which to me looks kind of like the likely culprit. Makes an inverted head and shoulder, and then if Bitcoin goes on into March and April into a bigger move into 2026, dominance continues to go on. I don't know if we're ever going to get a true alt season again like people really, really believe. I firmly believe it's going to be a select amount of altcoins at certain times. that people pull out of Bitcoin when there's a lot of conviction. It's going to be a lot of insiders that know where the market's going to move beforehand. We're going to have to find out really quick by using token metrics, seeing volume moves, just like what happened recently with the privacy coins. I was on them. I was on Zcash early. You can't say I wasn't. I saw something in the market. Because what happens to me is I scan hundreds and hundreds, 500 altcoins a day, on every single day of my life, almost every day. On the weekends, it's lighter. But I scan a lot of altcoins every week. Thousands, 2,000, 3,000 altcoins a week. I'm just, I'm using many different systems that I've, my own little secret sauce. And I'm able to figure out when I see volume. And there's 100 ways to do it. I teach most of my students during the weekly screen share. They know a lot of my sauce. All right. I mean, here too, look, it kind of said there was a little bit of alt season coming. That's a head and shoulder pattern that did drop. And I would love alt season. I would love for this to roll over. So let's see. This would be a nice move. And yes, this could give us a little bit of run. But it also, so now you see, okay, Bitcoin dominance looks like it's going to fall. Alt season, right? I don't know. Let's take a look at Tether dominance. If Tether dominance is still on a tear here, this is cool. So you know what? If Tether dominance falls, so here's the deal, everyone. If this ends up flagging out, if for the next 10 days you see this go sideways, and then if basically somewhere by, wow, that actually takes a while, but if somewhere by maybe December 10th or 12th, this starts to poke, we could be in for Black Swan. But if this comes down pretty soon, makes a right shoulder, we're getting alt season. Because that's going to be bearish, a dump on Tether dominance and a dump on Bitcoin dominance. And there you go. Bitcoin holding 105,161, really just sideways. It's chopping up the people that are trading small time frames. I've got a game plan. I'm looking to watch the price action literally for 8 hours tonight and see that it does what I've planned it to do. I also know that if it loses the 15-minute 200 moving average, it makes a bear flag that we're likely going to have to short in the small time frames to make a daily gain, or just leave the market alone until later on as well. So I see how it could go either way. I'm looking to hold the position. I've mapped out my trade, and I'm waiting for price to fill it out. We got to get back above this 200 moving average on the daily. It's so important. We did bounce off the 200 on the 2-day chart. We did it last time on the total market. We went below, but we used it as support. We used it as support right there. We used it as support right there. So the 2-day 200 moving average, ever since we double bottomed, has been caressing price like a sweet baby in the manger here. Every single time we get further to the downside, I would like it to continue to do so. Sweet baby James, right? Sweet baby Bitcoin. So sweet baby Bitcoin, stay above the 2-day 200 moving average. Please use it, caress it, hold it. Keep it like a baby in a basket. Keep it like Moses on the river. You know what I mean? Sweet and safe. It would be so nice. May we not get, may we finally get rewarded for buying the dip, please. Because I've been buying the dip like a crypto lifer should. And this beautiful inverted head and shoulder, like, come on, we're going to give it all back. Like we did the reversal. We made the cup and handle. That's why they call me Sammy Cup and Handy to the upside. Sammy Cup and Handy, man. And there's a cup and handle. There's that cup and handle, that signature sweet sauce from Sammy Price, that sweet baby sweet sauce. And look, how do you get the measured move? You take this wick to the lowest wick you can find that's left of the middle part. I don't know why, but that's how I've done it. I made this stuff up myself, and it always seems to hit the exact measured move. And if you pull a Fibonacci, you should be coming somewhere between a 618 and a 786. My buddy likes to use this candle's wick here. My man, Master Friend, and you can see that's his turtle soup. We came almost at the 786, but that's, I like that 618 and the 0.65. A lot of people don't realize they get a Fibonacci. It's Alt F. If you're going to do F, all right. A lot of people here don't know how to use Fibonacci, and they're going to ask, "Hey Sam, so let's do a free Fibonacci boot camp for you here, as fast as we can." All right, depress everybody. Price action pumps, comes back down, starts to round off, and you're sitting here and you're wondering when we should get in. Well, stochastics will come down and get low, so that's going to be one check. But then you're going to hit Alt F, and this might have a wick, right? The candle, and this will have a wick. So you're going to hit Alt F. You're going to be on the plus sign up here, but you can hit Alt F, and you're going to drag from bottom to the top. From bottom to the top, up, and you're going to drag upper right. So, and look, see, and you're going to start to pay attention to this key area. The 0.618 and the 0.65 and the 0.786. This is going to be the key areas that you're going to be paying attention to. And you're going to look for an inverted head and shoulder, that cup and handle there. You're going to look for a double bottom, you know, a rounded bottom and a handle here of Adam and Eve, double bottom, right? You're going to be looking for these reversal patterns in these areas. Now, when you pull the Fibonacci, you're not going to get it to look like mine. It's not going to have white right in the center. It's not going to have the 0.65. Well, the golden pocket's between the 0.65 and the 0.618. A lot of people don't realize that. So you're going to hit a check like this, and you're going to have to add the 0.65. I turned it white, upper left white, and I turned the 0.618 white, so I can see the golden pocket clearly. And the 786 is the only purple one that stands out, right? And those are the key levels that I use. And then my measured moves play out. Like, I usually don't have to, you know, other people use fib extensions to find out where price is going, but my measured moves just play out. And then the moving average just gets away from the 200. You'll see you'll have a bearish divergence, and you'll know when to sell, and then we'll reverse, right? And you'll be far away from the 21-day moving average, right? Here, the 21 and the 200 are all going to be tight together. As price moves up, the 21 is going to lag. You're going to get away from the 21. You're going to have to dump back to it on the 3-day and the daily chart. That's why I tell you, whenever we're away from that's why yesterday when I sold, it was a perfect sell, right? And I'll show you why again, how I sold price. My sell yesterday for Bitcoin, and I sold it at the beginning of the stream. If you watch the stream and you watch the update, like as the countdown starts, you'll see that I sell the trade. Let's go over this one more time because this is some key insight as well. So if we look at the 1 hour time frame yesterday and you watch what happened, we slap on the moving averages. Slap on these moving averages here. I like to test like all these other weird things that I see on, like, I'll see stuff on like Instagram or Twitter and I'm like, is that real, man? I'll never like really, I always stick to my stuff. So we look here, and I want to show you what happened. So we found the flag on the 15th. So look, on the 1 hour, you can't really see what's happening. But earlier in the day of that day, right? So let me show you. I'm going to take you through some cool stuff. We're going to start new. We're going to go to like right here. So I had two things cooking. I was like, man, it kind of looks like a descending triangle. I said, but I also see how the 1 hour is making a bit of a double bottom. And the moving average is getting tight on a high volume node. And you can see that the 200 moving average is starting to dangle. Whenever I see the moving averages get tight and this starts to hang out, two things are going to happen. You're going to roll over and the 200 is going to keep coming, and then it's going to smother. You're going to try to hit it, and then that's going to be like a nasty black swan dump. Or you're going to hover here. This will double bottom, or inverted head and shoulders, and then the reversal. And if you see the reversal, there's a good chance you're going to pump right up to the 200. Like, you'll hit it like with a nice move. So remember, like, this is why joining a trading group is key. You could start, and you could have been trading for a week, and it's very hard to see this stuff or to understand it. And it's good to have a guide, someone that's watching the market every single day, constantly, every hour, on the hour, for less than $3 a day, right? It's like, it's honestly insane. It's like $2. It's like $2 a day if you get the 10% discount for BTC. Anyway, so the point is, and I just wanted to show you kind of what I saw. So here it is right here. This is yesterday, right? And like, I'm looking at the charts and I see on 11/8 at 11:34. Watch Bitcoin on the 1 hour looking to put in a double bottom. If this 1 hour candle closes well, I always typo, so don't stress, but you'll know what I'm saying. There's a beautiful W though that could get to 103.275. You see that? I mean, and that's what that's what happened yesterday, right? And we could see it before it happened because we play technical analysis. Look, low stochastic, MACD turning, RSI's inside of like a bull flag, literally a cup with a handle there. If I you'll see that. So that's the first thing I started looking at. And I could see that this was, so everyone else might be super bearish. And again, and I even could see that it might make a descending and dump. And I said, we also have to watch out for the descending triangle. But lo and behold, it did exactly what the double bottom was supposed to do, 68% of the time. And lo and behold, it made the magnetic move up to the 200 moving average. Now, once I saw this, I swapped to the 15-minute. And I saw that the 15-minute was in an ascending triangle, touching the 21 with a banana curve on the stochastics RSI. I also saw that there was a flag on the RSI, and I also saw that the MACD was turning. I teach this the last Saturday of every single month. I teach how I enter trades and why. It's amazing. Like, this is an amazing course. It's for $150 for 3 hours of my time. People pay $300 for 1 hour of my time. This is the greatest discount you'll ever receive. Jump on into this class. It's the last Saturday of the month. It's a 3.5-hour course. I give you homework. You'll sit with me. You'll understand the market in an amazing way. So before this pump, I got in and I gave it to the group. And you'd say, no, you didn't, Sam. How could you have seen all this? Well, I started watching it on the 1. Then I started building it, and then I even gave the trade on the 4-hour because I saw the inverted head and shoulder. Like, the market just started to speak to me. And look, on the live, and then I saw this on the live stream in the morning, at 8 in the morning yesterday. I started giving you guys this for free in the morning, but then I continued to update it in the trading group. And then there we are again, and then that's when I say, hey, I'm going to take the scalp. I'm going to jump on in and see where this puppy goes. And then it started to pump. And for, even on a Sunday, it was like, okay. Then we hit the first target. And then I made about, $863 after fees. But I was up about $900 there, right? And so that's how it works. I saw it, I waited, I planned it out. And then I got into the trade last night that's been sideways ever since. We're still in the trade. And that's kind of where we sit right now. I just got deja vu, man. I just got some weird deja vu right now. You see, and then see this curve in the stochastics? I used the stochastics with the 200 moving average. And look, we also got above a support of resistance. This was the resistance. We got back above it. We used it as a, that's called an SR flip. So I'm using support of resistance, moving averages. I like being above the 200. I like when the 21 touches above the 200. I like when the Stokes are curving. This is what I do time and time and time again. My strategy is tried and true. It plays out over and over and over again. Look at that thing, man. And then we made a flag last night that didn't play out. Looked like it would have. And then they Bart Simpsoned us, and now we're kind of sitting in this weird limbo of sideways price action. We may dump back to the 200. We may get tight. And kind of only time will tell here on the 1 hour time frame. You see? And that's why we're kind of where we are right now. So does it all make sense now, right? So back to Fibonacci, I'm teaching you how to go into the settings, remember, and you got to add the 0.65, turn it white. Otherwise, you will not have the golden pocket like me. So there's just a Fibonacci boot camp for you real quick. Again, how would you pull the fib here? Let's go back in time to see how we would attempt to enter the trade using Fibonacci. Oh, this is on total, so you can't. But we could do that on, on any other. But maybe I'll get that going. Damn, 104, 105,000. Bitcoin really struggling today, and it's a Monday. After massive liquidations. And I think we have a bank holiday tomorrow, too, which usually slows the liquidity down because people know there's going to be no money in the market tomorrow. Or less money. You got banks not moving money around. If banks don't move money around, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to speed up or slow down the market? What do you think? If I had to guess, I would say it would slow down the market. Yeah, less people would have access to liquidity. Agreed? Yeah, I think so. That's another thing that blockchain will solve. There'll never be a banking holiday again. I mean, Bitcoin does not have a banking holiday. That makes it superior right off the bat. There's 8 days a year that Bitcoin is accessible, and you can't access that anywhere else, right? Yeah, so this is cool. I'd like to see this. I'm watching for it all day long. It's going to take all day, and I'm ready for the dump down if it doesn't play out my way. And I have a stop loss in case. I have proper risk management in place, and I know. So what did we go over today that's important? We went over when to trade and why. or when I trade and why. I talked about how that limits or engages it basically it extends or limits my position size, right? It inflates or deflates my position size. I either get a bigger position size or a smaller bit depending on the day that I'm trading. Now that's something that took me years to do. I used to just trade. I look at my P&L, it had nothing to do, you know, we look at all, see, when you trade, you start. And you look at all the dangers that could come at you as a trader. And it's like all these arrows being shot at you. Eventually, you get better and better at trying not to get hit by those arrows, right? And you're going to find small ways to increase your ability not to get hit. You're going to find small ways to increase your probability. Right now, you know how many people went long and short, short and long, got into an altcoin, sold an altcoin, were up, down, right? So many people have just traded themselves to zero right now because they don't know how to sit still. You know, I was listening to a billionaire the other day, and he said, you know, one of the greatest traits of someone who gets very, very wealthy is knowing when to do nothing. He said there's a lot of men that have a lot of money, and the antsiness to get rich, the antsiness, they just have to do something with their money, and they do something really stupid with it. You know what I mean? Like invest in something very, very drastically, plow into the market at a time where they're just full of emotion, and they take big hits because they had to, you know, God. And there's, again, my connection to God. God is going to provide for me what I deserve in this life. If I'm meant to be a billionaire, God will provide the ability for me to become a billionaire. Amen. If I'm meant to become, you know, if I'm meant to go through trials and tribulations, like whatever I'm meant for is going to come my way. You know, and I know God has made me strong and give me the ability to help others. I help, you know, so I always go back to that. Like I'm in this trade right now because I have faith that what I've learned will teach me the best lessons. So I'm going to keep my stop. I'm going to watch what happens. And I'm going to go from there. And I'm not going to be in and out 1,000 trades and playing around. And I'm not going to overextend myself into risk at a time on a Monday when I know the risk is too high. I'm going to make it better for myself at a time when the risk is low, right? Jack Dorsey Square launches Bitcoin payments. Former Twitter CEO and co-founder Jack Dorsey has started an important update with the broader cryptocurrency community. In a post on X, Dorsey highlighted that Square, the payments company, now supports Bitcoin to Bitcoin payments. Notably, this means that merchants and sellers using Square can now accept Bitcoin as payment for goods and services rendered to customers. The post highlights a major integration of Bitcoin into Square's payment platform. Aside from Bitcoin to Bitcoin payment, Dorsey also listed other transaction options that Square supports. These include Bitcoin to fiat, fiat to Bitcoin, and fiat to fiat. Our sellers can now receive Bitcoin to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to fiat, and fiat to Bitcoin or fiat to fiat. Interesting, despite Dorsey's passion to make Bitcoin payment a reality, many critics think otherwise. I mean, he's going to make a bunch of money off it. He's going to make money on the fees. He has a payment network. He can take in another payment that's possible. Why would he not want to take, you know what I mean? That's only going to make him more money. It's a smart business decision. Let's take a look at BTC. Let's take a look at gold and what's happening to gold today. And so remember, we've gone over Bitcoin dominance. We've looked at the total market cap. The 4-hour is a little roofed. It's overbought. And the 4-hour looks like we either have to consolidate up here for a little while or we're going to take a dump. It doesn't look amazing right now. It doesn't look amazing. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, baby, gold. Gold surges back to 4,000. And I told you it would. People didn't believe me. I mean, it's bouncing on the 200 moving average. You were oversold in the stochastics. When the stochastics are oversold and you're touching the 200, there's a very high probability you're going to bounce off that key level. It happens many times. I told you gold would rip to the upside and start to consolidate yet again. I'm telling you, I don't know exactly how long or big, but I have the old consolidation there. That's the old one, right? And that's kind of what happened right here, you see? Similar idea for me of what will happen again to gold. And it says it'll surge again somewhere in January of 2026. You see? And gold's going to rip again. I see it headed all the way to $5,281. They have to print this money. And once the government is out, then they're going to, then they say they're going to figure out how to, basically the shutdown's about the bill. Once the shutdown's over, they print the money that the bill needs, and then the money flows, and then we get, you know what I mean? So the government shutdown deal did pass the Senate. I'm not saying it's 100% just now, but That's also giving us a little spark. Let's take a look at the S&P, which I told you was likely going to bounce. The whole world, everyone said we were going to have a massive meltdown in the S&P. And look what happened in the last 12 hours. The S&P has bounced from 6659 all the way back up to 68. Who's one of the only people who said watch for the bounce on the S&P? Did anyone watch my macro technical analysis video? And I see they're going to print this money. It goes into the stock market, friends. So what I see happening is this. It's S&P and gold following each other. And it looks like they're going to erupt both of them in somewhere in January, in December, and February. S&P erupts again here after a nice consolidation. It's going to consolidate just like it did here. Let me show you. Just like it did here. Everyone said that the market was done for here. And I told you, no, it's going to make a bit of a flag. I said, flag out the S&P. Remember? And I said, I said, look for it to pump. I said, my target's somewhere up at 7,000. I mean, we breached at 69.50. I mean, right? And this is when everyone was bearish. I got to tell you, and you can go back to my macro analysis video every single Friday. I did the same thing to the NASDAQ. To me, this is the time to buy when everyone's full of fear. Again, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. But I'm looking for this to consolidate. And that breaks out too somewhere by December 3rd or, right? And we get a December rally on the NASDAQ like we do almost every year. Bitcoin, 104,928, struggling again to hold key levels. Just getting red again here on the 1 hour time frame. Not what I'm looking for. Do not want to see, let's see here, the 10 minute. So the 10 minute, I don't want to see the 10 minute time frame lose the 200 moving average. That's going to be the time frame to watch is the 10 minute. I know it's strange today, but once we lose the 10 minute 200, we'll come right down to 103,260. We hold the 10 minute 200, we bounce back, we have a good day. I say in the next 2 hours, we're going to know exactly what this 10 minute does. I would be staring at the 10 minute time frame right now like a hawk. It's going to give you the information you need to figure out where the price is going today. That's the key idea. 100%. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Hope you're having a good time today on the channel. Hope you're loving life and you're pushing yourself to your limits every single day. This is the day to be alive, man. The present moment. You build in the present, you can make things happen. If we stay in the past all the time and keep ourselves kind of, focused on all our losses, all the downs, all the things that have happened in our life that haven't been great for us, it's going to be hard for us to push forward. You know what I mean? It's just, I've been there. I've learned how to find mental strength no matter what is happening in my life and how to find a positive. There's something positive in every moment. There's an opportunity every single day. And no matter how many mistakes we make, we just learn from them and keep moving. As long as we keep moving and keep pushing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Michael Saylor even buying more Bitcoin, announcing more Bitcoin buys. I mean, that man does not stop buying Bitcoin. And he has so much of it. And he does not stop. It's insane. Absolute wonderful time, right? So Bitcoin's been bouncing between 105.2 and 108.4 the entire stream, just like a pendulum. Up and down, up and down. And I showed you basically how to play it and exactly what to do. I hope everyone has a pretty good handle over BTC. I see the NASDAQ getting a bounce. I wouldn't stress. Everyone's going to tell you the world's going to collapse. And maybe it does make a right shoulder here and have a nasty dump. There's a chance, but they're printing money. And when they print a lot of money, people start front running it before. You see, when the money comes in, we pump. But that's going to take, everyone says, yeah, it takes time. 100%. It's going to take 40, 50 days, 60 days maybe. So we're not going to pump immediately. But the smart money starts putting their money in because then when the money comes in, that puts their money up. So it's almost like a parachute, like they know it's coming, or a mattress. And they want to show the mattress is going to help hold them up. So it's like, so big money likes to front run the money coming in. Understand? It's kind of how, you got to be in beforehand to take advantage. The key is there's a lot of fear at those times, and most people can't get over their emotions. The best times are when the emotions are the highest, and you have to do it one time, pierce the veil, and then you look back one day and you're like, wow, it worked out. Like, I was scared, but it worked. Then you do it again, and then eventually you stop listening to your emotions more than your logic and your probabilities. But you got to gain probability by learning and taking in the data. If you don't have any data, if you don't have time in the market, how are you going to make probability? It's going to be very hard for you. and you're going to be more emotional. 62% chance that they cut the rates now in December. That's got to start rising. This starts to rise. We see this at 70, 80% in the next 2 weeks. That's going to change the tune of the markets too as well, and the sentiment. I already see. Show me the charts, and I'll show you the news. Things are starting to brew. If you want to trade on BTCC, you will get a bonus right there, and then whatever you do, you'll get back, right? So 550, that gives you 50. 1 mil gives you 100. 3 mil, Apple Watch, and all the way up to 700 mil in a Cybertruck. Pretty amazing, right? If you hit the link to BTCC today to find out more, it's in the pinned comment. So Bitcoin, Fear and Greed Index at 29. It's pinned over there too. You can see that at 29, right? The fear. Extreme fear at 22. Extreme fear was at 20 yesterday. It's insane how low they got the fear after, oh, it's just, we'll see. So my strategies are tried and true. I'm sticking to exactly what I see. I told you about when and where and how. Let's take a look at Total 3. The entire market cap of all of the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're also going to look at Others D, which is like basically the dominance of the altcoins. And honestly, I'm super excited right now because we are back above the 200 moving average on the daily. Just enough to be alive, baby. Staying alive. So that was just a beautiful place to buy. A lot of times too, you look at your altcoin may look more bearish than Total 3. I've learned to trust Total 3 more than my altcoin because that's the general move of the market. And, that's just how I look at it. So this told me that, yeah, there's a low, there's a high, there's a higher low. We just need to consolidate. It does say, though, that altcoins don't rip until after January. It just, you know what I mean? It's saying that we have a couple months of up and down price action. We just have to say no more bear market, and this thing can start to do damage, right? The trade's still down 51%, 154. Bitcoin's at 105,000, 105. It's playing games. And it looks like the people that stay calm, cool, and collected will prevail today. I'm teaching you how to do that. I hope you can pick up on what I'm putting down. So now let's pay attention to Total 3. And I like what I'm seeing for Total 3. This is a good sign. So as long as the daily can stay back above this yellow line, the 200 moving average on the daily, let me make this big for you so you can really see what I'm saying here. But as long as we can stay above this yellow line here on the 200, on Total 3, we're in business to possibly get a move. I don't like this huge wick on the daily candle, right? I wish that was a lot cleaner. It is what it is. But again, today, what happens today is going to paint a picture. And look, that is a falling wedge that could break up, make a right shoulder. So far, so good. I'll take exactly what they're giving us. It's making sense to me. Right? And we go from there. So Total 3, the entire market cap of all of crypto, looking pretty solid. Is there a certain crypto that's going to move today? Let's take a look at Zcash. Everyone wants to know what's up with Zcash. Is it going to continue to pump? What's happening? Is it retracing? Whenever you look at something like this, you really want to look at the 3-day chart. I looked at it here and say, hey, maybe there's a chance it could pump out of this flag, but it's like, and it did. It made a little, you could have bottom 617 all the way up to 682. That ain't bad. You could almost say, well, it's still flirting with the 200 moving average. If Bitcoin gets a move, it looks like this might bounce right back up again. There's just a lot of eyes on it, right? And then maybe it does continue to pump up to $1,000 a coin. The one thing that has me that tells me to back off a little bit is that 3-day chart. And that 21. See, this is where I would pull the wick from the fib, and I would pull the fib from this wick here. Again, another great place to look at Fibonacci, right? And then you start to say, well, we would go back down to the 786 or the 618. There is when we would maybe go on our next move. This is a safer bet, right? You could chase that other time frame. And again, there's a chance every time that you're wrong, and it goes on a parabolic run that I've never seen. It's just the odds in my lifetime, that's 1 out of like 20, 30 times. Like 25 out of 30 assets, or I'd say even more than that, 28 out of 30 assets are going to come back down to the 618 every single time they get a run like this. A coin that ran up like this recently, or not too recently, or maybe 3-4 months ago, was Crow. There was talks of it working with Trump media. They picked Crow as a sponsor. And if you remember, in a 3-day period, Crow went from 15 all the way up to 39, right? It just almost did a 3x out of nowhere. And lo and behold, what happened here, right? And if you look at the 3-day chart, What you did is you got very far away. Let me show you. You got very far away from the 21-day moving average. So whenever I see the 3-day making a red candle away from the 21, it tells me that we're coming down somewhere to a 786. You know, and so look, you could pull this and you can see there's your 786 fib retracement. And you know, this is what I do for a living, right? And I've watched this. The thing is, not only do I do this for a living, but I've seen it so many times. Like I just watch, I love price action. Like, and there it goes. It goes to the 886 actually and hovers on the 200 moving average. Like that's the lowest. Like, to me, that's like, it doesn't get cheaper than that. Like that's the discount. Was it insiders selling? Was it people that had held for so long? Look, I mean, some people got in here in April of 2025 and they've been waiting, you know, and they waited 3 months. I mean, cool thing is you could have got in at 7 cents in April and sold at 38 cents. So like that's almost a 5X there. And people say there's no alt season. There's no alt season because everyone's round tripping everything. I learned that this is a swing trader's market. Like you could swing trade here, get in and out. You get in when you cross the 200 moving average. You sell when you're far away from the 21. I do this time and time again. I do it on the 1 minute. I do it on the 1 hour. I did it yesterday on the 15. I do it all the time. I'm doing it today with the 1 hour right now as we speak. Let's see if we can hang above that key level. And again, I don't have all the answers at 105,050 right now for Bitcoin. And that big red looming at 98,950. Yee. Giving me the heebie-jeebies, to be honest. But hey, I don't live in fear. I live in love. Remember the quote yesterday? Like, any man who lives in love can't be denied. I think I have it on Grok because I asked Grok to do it. The man who thinks, questions, and acts in love is beyond the devil's reach. For truth needs no fear to defend it, and love is the one light no darkness can withstand. Amen. The man who thinks, questions, and acts with love is beyond the devil's reach. For truth needs no fear to defend it, and love is the one light no darkness can withstand. If you live in love, you cannot be denied. I talk about this all the time. Let's talk about AAVE and Pendle. If the market does start to shift, you will see a move in AAVE that most people won't understand. I mean, what do you see right now? Do you see it? Do you see it? Anybody? Let's see. I mean, I know a bunch of people see that. Who sees it? I'm just going to look up at the chat. God bless you, Sam. God bless you. Signing off. Good night, Sam. See you in the morning. Oh, maybe. Oh, that's yesterday's chat. It's different now, though, with the exposure to cryptocurrency turning mainstream. Yeah. I mean, do you see that? That's absolutely beautiful. AAVE's making a higher low. AAVE's in an uptrend, meaning that DeFi is looking interesting to institutions. This is the biggest DeFi protocol, the safest protocol, the most secure, the ones that someone's willing to put in 10 mil, 50 mil, heck, 100 mil. This thing held giant TVL. It's actually up from when I first even looked at it down here in the 60s and 80s. And it bottomed back in these lower levels and came up strong. AAVE looks like it's in a cup and handle to me. And it's funny, we just discussed Sammy cup and handy to the upside, right? And we went over why, and this is why they call me Sammy cup and handy, right? You take the wick to the wick. Remember the wick a little left of the center? Or it might be the center, but whatever that deep level is, it's usually a little left of center. And then we go to 486 here. And look, 11, that's, wow. Right? 488. I'm saying it was, when it bounced off 211? No, 201. So, and then it had, I mean, of course, the crazy wick. Imagine being able to buy it at 82 and be sitting pretty right now. I mean, someone did some shady stuff there, and definitely someone got in on those candles. So, AAVE to me is in a bit of a cup and handle. And AAVE's bouncing off the 3-day 200 moving average. It's got to crawl back to the daily, but it's using the 3-day as strong support. And if I see a curve, So here's the deal. If AAVE loses the 3-day 200, and you start to make a bit of a bear flag here on that 3-day, you know that we're likely rolling over. And that could take a couple weeks before the bigger dump. But if AAVE can stay above this and kind of do its thing, TVL is going to be added in D. That means more people are jumping into AAVE. Understand? And if AAVE starts to consolidate and get ready, boom. And that's when AAVE, I mean, everyone says watch Ethereum. I've learned it's AAVE, man. It's AAVE. AAVE starts to move, and then that's when you have alt season. Both big pumps we had started when you can see AAVE started to take off a little earlier than the rest of the market. I'm not saying it's going to be a guaranteed signal, but it's definitely something you want to look at. All right. And that's just some key insight that I started picking up on that I use to this day. Funny, Verge is an old coin from back in the day. It's back above its 3-day 200 moving average, but it's been in chop for so long. Yeah, daily. I remember this coin. I've traded it on and off for years. It's funny you brought it up. Sam, when you see those giant wicks down, does that forecast future areas of price? Maybe next short term, but long term. Yes and no, I guess. I'm long on Sammy's Blue Blazer. God bless you, man. Thank you. I've worn this thing around the world, man. I think I'm going to leave it home this time. It's not coming on the next trip. Why is it not an upside down Adam and Eve? This one here? I don't know what he's talking about. You got to tell me what coin when you ask, because I said so many things, right? Someone says, Sam, is ADA on the monthly in a giant cup and handle? Let's look at Cardano on Binance on the monthly, right? I've held Cardano for a long, long time. I never sold it. I still have it on my hardware wallet. Little Sammy holding his Cardani. I was so loyal, man, to Charles. And I still am, man. I believe Cardano has the backbone and institutional grade security that you really want if you're going to put hundreds of billions of dollars into infrastructure. But, even my faith has dwindled over time. 8 years have passed now, and so much has happened. I see it getting tight and sideways, and then see that same thing. Look, July of 2026 to December of 2027. It's almost like altcoins go on a run, but they don't go on a run until next summer. It's just, I know it sounds insane, but that's what I'm starting to see. Once it just starts moving now, and even if it starts moving now, I mean, that goes till December of 20, you know what I mean? So you go sideways, and if you have a nothing burger, you double bottom again into another bear market. And you bottom somewhere. It looks like it's low risk, because the lowest it goes is 25 cents. So it's either boring for, it's almost like a low risk trade here for Cardano, in my humble opinion, but it's, that's up to the person that's looking at it. I like it, but yeah. Anyway, let's take a look here at the fan funding. Shout out to everyone that had the notion to give today. Today, you get to ride. Congratulations, Emma. Thanks for everything you do. God bless you, man. Keep it on the low, man. Keep it on the low. H&S on the 1 minute. We'll find the CME gap. Yeah. Can you look at Sol? We'll look at Sol, yeah. Are you still in Zen on the GP on the daily? Oh, yeah, let's look at Zen. Zen gets hammered every single time I'm looking at it. It's like, now it looks like they're rolling it over. I am out of Zen. When Zen dumped, I got out there. I took a L because I was like, hey, it was supposed to pump, beautifully. It looked just like Secret Network. And that's my signal. That's my, tight moving averages. The Stokes were low. I mean, it was weird that didn't play out. It was very strange. You could say it hadn't curved just yet inside the pattern. The Stokes started curving lower, right? You can see we were kind of still high there, actually. But that was low right there. And it gave, that's rare. This is rare to me. It doesn't happen like that every time. Let's take a look, though. Was the other time frames were a bit overbought, though. So I guess I was kind of going after something that, it had already made a pretty big move. So there you have it too, right? And it looks like you could be losing the 200 moving average on the 4 hour and going for more downside. Like, these were pumping when Bitcoin was dumping too, and it seems when Bitcoin pumps, it's really weird what's happening here. It is its support. If we do have a bull run, you think, why wouldn't this go up with the rest of the market? So if Bitcoin can save itself today, this gets a pump. Hangs out right, but if not, it falls back down here to this area, and we struggle again. But thank you for asking. That's a great question, Mr. Koshi. Shout out to anyone that gave today. Jason Casper, my travel guide. Iris Sen Singh. Victor Navarro. Mr. Koshi. And BT Taylor 808. May God bless you all. Thank you so much for giving. It feels good to give. That will come back to you tenfold. And thank you so much. Everyone, I love you. I thank you so much. I'm out of here for the day. May God bless you all. And thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. We'll be in the group. We'll be watching to see what happens. 105, 250 for Bitcoin. We're just watching again. If you want to stick with me, we're watching the 1 hour, right? And we're seeing if we can stay inside this flag here. Haven't touched it since this morning, but we're seeing if we can make this and turn this into an inverted head and shoulder in the long term. And I'm still long right now with my stop below the 200. I'm looking for this golden cross, which looks like it's getting front run. And then it looks like maybe later tonight we can get our move out this beautiful measured move here. And that sends us somewhere here back to 111,477. I'm wary of the 22 being inside of a bear flag, but we keep fighting off the bears back at 105, 300. So whales are buying a lot of Bitcoin too right now. So we'll see. BOOKMAP also suggests still has red. It doesn't mean we go there. Peace out, Club Scout. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. May God bless my Uncle Vincenzo, my Italian brother over here. Hey, we're going back to Sicily together, eh? Nobody messes with the familia. Shout out to my lovers alive. Shout out to everybody here. Crypto Billy, all my peoples, Lakochi in the chat, everyone that gave here on the stream, and everyone that showed up. God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to make it through this, man, when no one else will. I'm telling you. And they're going to look back at us and wish they were crypto lifers and wish they never gave up. I love you all. I'll see you on the flip side. Stay safe. Stay amazing. Stay blessed. Stay lifers. The secret to success is getting started, baby.